If you've been stuck at the same rank in Valorant for months, here's the uncomfortable truth. It's probably not your aim. Most players don't rank up because they're trapped in an archetype, a pattern of habits that quietly caps their improvement. Today, I'm breaking down different player archetypes that cause players to plateau, and exactly what each one needs to overcome so they can climb. This is part 2 to my last video, so if you haven't watched it yet, I would recommend you do so to find which other archetypes you may be. But before I get into it, here are my credentials. I'm Monica, a 19-year-old Immortal 3 player who climbed from IM3. So trust me when I say I have been through the trenches and have a good idea of what it takes to rank up and improve as a player. Join me on my journey as I attempt to make a career out of the game I enjoy playing so much. And if you care to stick around even after this video, you'll be able to see how I climbed the rank ladder and become one of the only players to have gone from IM to Radiant. Number 1. The Overthinker. If anyone knows me at all, it's quite safe to say that they would agree that I am this archetype. This player often overanalyzes everything, whether it's through watching pro VODs, their own VODs, their mental state, and more. And because this player overanalyzes and overthinks, they likely have a good understanding of the macro aspect of the game. That is, how certain actions you take affect the game or your whole team. You would tend to try and be more selfless than selfish as a result, which means you sacrifice individual performance to obtain successful team play, and yet you're still stuck. The problem with overthinkers is that by overanalyzing, you develop a predetermined idea of how you expect every Valorant game to be played out. You become a perfectionist to a degree, and it causes hesitation in your actions. Not because you necessarily don't know what to do at the right moment, but because you overcalculate and worry too much about the outcome of an action, instead of just trusting in yourself and performing the action, then learning from your mistake. You're scared any mistakes in your actions will cause the game to become unwinnable. Your mental, or your ability to play the game comfortably, also hinges on having teammates and enemies playing the game that make sense to you, which is impossible, because you never have the same 5 enemies and 4 teammates every game. Some of you may be aware of this too, and also try to overcompensate for where you feel your teammates may be lacking, because you try and force an ideal game. Once you realize this, you start to notice that the reason you're stuck is because you're hesitating so much and waiting for perfection. You stop yourself from learning. You start to lack in the micro aspect of your gameplay, which is indicated by your performance metrics and mechanics. When I say mechanics, I'm not saying being an overthinker automatically means they are bad, but rather they are lacking or you don't make the most of it, because you're overconsumed by the macro aspect of the game, which causes your aim to become more sloppy than it would be if you weren't. For example, as an overthinker, here's a clip of how good my aim can be, and yet I hit Immortal 3 with such poor performance metrics.
One enemy remaining.
You got it, stick it. Holy my gold, bro!
Not to say you can do the same, but where you lack as an overthinker will catch up to you when you don't know how to play for yourself. And even if you reach a new peak, you won't keep it for long. For example, where I lack to individually impact the game, in the games I didn't have control, caused me to lose 100 to 400 RR right after reaching a new peak. To fix this, firstly and most importantly, you need a mentality shift, and I mean this. You need to accept the fact that this is a first-person shooter game first and foremost.
You're amazing again. Paper Rex are the fucking worst nightmare of the armchair analyst. They do not make sense as a team. They make confidence-based decisions. They play the game exactly how the fucking MOBA crowd hates it. Listen, there's a subsection of player base out there that thinks the game needs to be defined down to the fucking numbers, the analytics, pushing up my glasses. Oh, this lineup from this particular angle. Oh, this composition doesn't work in theory because this particular section of util. You're gonna get shot in the face. You're gonna lose the round. It's a gun game. It's an FPS. If you want
But
that,
Hunger Games isn't shooting anyone.
That, play Overwatch. If you want that, play League of Legends. Play a different fucking game. This is Valorant, you motherfucker. You get shot, you die. You get shot, you die. You get shot, you lose the round, you lose the game. It's an FPS game.
If I didn't emphasize it enough, I'm sure he did. Number 2, understand that in ranked, speed will beat perfection more times than not, because perfection doesn't exist. While you overthink, someone else is committing and being the win condition. Number 3, give yourself a 1-second decision rule. This way you learn to commit to your fights and commit to your decisions. Number 4, accept imperfect reads. Number 5, manage your expectations. High expectations create low resilience. As someone with this archetype, I know people want to play the ideal game that makes sense, but sometimes if you just peek and shit on 2 of them, then it is the ideal play that makes sense. However, I would probably warn against rage swinging everything, because it's more so the notion that you can't be afraid to take an imperfect fight. Before the next archetype, selfish plug here, but if you have any questions you want answered live, I stream on Twitch and will be trying to do so every day at twitch.tv/Yanakas. Pull up and come say hi. All the links to my socials are in the description down below. Thank you. Number 2, the comfort zone one trick. This is the player who instantly locks the same agent every single Valorant game, and if they fail to lock in the agent in time, it leads to mental drops and decreased performance, due to uncomfortability because you aren't versatile, which in turn can lead to further mental drops, creating a negative feedback loop. If that didn't already sound like a problem, then I assure you there's more. Another issue with these players is that they have a very limited perspective and understanding of the game. But climbing requires understanding and increasing game knowledge, which is gained through experiencing the game in different ways. That is, playing different agents and roles. You learn how your opponents move through the agents. For example, how they create space, deny space, lurk, entry, or control information, and more. One-tricking limits your macro growth. To fix this, learn to play at least 2 more agents and make sure at least one of these agents is in a different role from your one-trick agent. With this agent, learn how you can create impact round by round. You can do this by watching VODs of pros using these agents to learn how they get the most out of them and increase your agent mastery. Flexibility raises your in-game IQ. Before I continue, note that the following archetypes are more specific, and if you want more general archetypes, you should watch my previous video. Number 3. The hero play addict. I'm looking at the Sky main clip farmers, for example. You know, the Sky mains you see on TikTok who make a pop flash play and get a 3k or ace. These players will often, number 1, look to make clip-worthy plays in an attempt to feed their ego. Number 2, over-rotate to look for the most action-packed side of the map. And number 3, force unnecessary plays, for example, pushing through smokes randomly, which could turn 5v3s into losable rounds. The problem is that they try to win the round alone, even when their team already has the advantage. The plays often leave their team at a disadvantage because it has a low success rate, and the plays are often hard to recreate. And more than anything, because of their habits, they are very inconsistent players. To fix this, you need to 1. Recognize when you're at a team advantage in a round. Number 2, learn what determines round win conditions and play to meet them. Number 3, make plays that are consistently replicable and contribute to winning. Number 4, ask yourself before making a play, what loses us this round, and avoid that. Number 5, do regular short form VOD reviews to recognize your bad patterns and begin fixing them. Climbing is about closing rounds clearly and consistently, not about stealing them dramatically. Number 4, the default addict. This player feels more comfortable playing slow rounds and will often call defaults, rarely ever committing to fast or early plays. The problem with these players is that they over-rely on defaulting. Yes, they are powerful, but only if they lead to something. The greater underlying issue is that they often only make plays in their comfort zone, and playing slowly allows them to do that. Players like this will often lack versatility and will fail to capitalize on timings or the info they gain from these defaults. This leads to sight hits late into the round and plays that are easily read by the enemy, making the run harder to win. To fix this, practice making faster paced plays, and even if it doesn't work out, review it and learn what went wrong so you know what to do better next time. Number 2, practice capitalizing on info quickly and do the same follow-up as number 1. Good teams and players don't just default and play slow, they are versatile and learn how to adapt quickly. Now, the last 2 archetypes are more specific versions of number 1, the overthinker. So that leads me to number 5, the systemic player. Ranked does not equal scrims. This player is likely in a team or often 5 stacks, mixing their ranked expectations with their scrim expectations, where they have more control over their teammates and enemies' behavior. These players rely on coordinated team play, consistent comms, structured executes, and enemies playing within their expectations, and therefore they struggle with adapting to randomness, performing without structure, and waiting for ideal setups that never happen. The issue with these players is that they fail to realize that ranked is chaotic, and you have minimal variables you can control, meaning it lacks any structure. You want to be able to read and adapt if you want to climb. To fix this, simplify your playstyle, play in more self-sufficient positions, and create your own opportunities instead of waiting. Ranked rewards independent impact, not perfect systems. And lastly, number 6, the player who respects everyone. This player often assumes enemies are making optimal plays and never tries to limit tests or push boundaries, which in turn means that you don't exploit the enemy enough and you play into the enemy rather than have them play into you. You will also likely overcomplicate your plan to the round, overclear everything, over-rotate, you don't punish obvious mistakes, you play overly safe versus weak players and miss free timing windows, which is ironic because the enemy would likely get outplayed by worse decisions. The problem with these players is that you overestimate the enemy and respect them too much, which gives the enemy free reign of the game. You essentially give them many opportunities to win. To fix this, limit test your opponents early and often. Number 2, take sprays aggressively when patterns are weak. Number 3, punish bad habits immediately. Not every opponent is a genius, start playing like they are. So here's the question, which archetype are you? Because once you identify it, your path to improvement becomes clearer than it has ever been. And if your player archetype wasn't in this video and you're stressed about ranking up, check my previous video as there are more player archetypes I explored there. Understand that your first step to improving is in aim training by identifying what could be holding you back mentally and pattern breaking. If you made it this far, I hope I provided you with a ton of value and made everything make sense. If you want to support me in future videos, drop a sub, I promise the button won't bite. I'm also more than willing to answer questions about specific scenarios in your gameplay, or other related topics in my Discord server or Twitch streams. So feel free to join using the links down below. All my platforms will be linked there as well. Thank you so much for watching. I know that you are loved and appreciated for making it to the end. Alright, so for today's mini side note, I just wanted to kind of go over the struggles I have being the overthinker archetype, and it's just, I'm always in my head like I explained. I've already explained this, so I won't go through what it is I go through. But so far, I'm trying to figure out my solution. I noticed that I kind of always expect too much from, not even expect too much from myself, but like, I beat myself up for not being right or not being perfect where I can, or for failing where I feel like I shouldn't have. And I fear that any action I take could be me throwing quote unquote. I could then definitively define whether I win or lose, or improve or become the person I want to be in the future. And I think it comes from a deep-seated fear of failing, because to me, a lot of the things I do, I kind of do or die if I really put my heart into it. And because I think it comes from a place of also not just feeling enough, potentially. And yeah, I'm trying to figure out the fix, and I've given the fix. I just need to employ them myself. Like, I'm pretty sure that section was like 3 minutes long because of how much I relate to it. To end the video off, I shall give you this quote that was given to me by a good friend of mine, and I think you should take it into consideration, too, especially if you're my archetype, because I think it will help. But he says, your desire to win should be stronger than your fear of losing. Or, you can view it this way, your desire to carry should be stronger than your fear of throwing. Take that as you will, but I think that quote says enough. You should be willing to do whatever it takes to win, even if it means making mistakes, rather than trying to play a perfect game, in fear that your attempts to be perfect will in truth be imperfect, and the truth is everything is imperfect, so just do it anyways.